Hello and welcome to another home Pilates workout during the COVID-19 pandemic. My name is Henriette. These videos are for all the students who comes to my regular classes. If you are from another class or you just normally practice with another teacher, welcome. I hope you enjoy this session. Right, we're going to focus on 3 different things this evening. We'll be thinking about forward flexion and extension. So we'll do cat and cow in different ways. We'll do some movements into the hips and then do some side bending and playing around with some strength work in the arms and the shoulders, finishing with some extension work. So first of all, I want you to start in a kneeling position. Untuck the toes so we get a lovely stretch for the front of the ankles, and we'll go down into a variation of your child's pose, but we're not going to move all the way down with the upper body. We'll just be resting on straight arms like this. Now let's go into a cat stretch from here. So just curving the spine into a C curve, and then into a cow stretch, trying to reach up to the ceiling with your tailbone, and then also looking up towards the ceiling. Feeling a stretch as you lift your chin to the ceiling. Let's go back into cat. Duck that tailbone down and reach through the upper spine. And then let's go into a cow. Lifting the chest, lifting the chin. Right, let's lift ourselves up with the knees underneath the hips, and this time come down onto the front of the arms. Now let's just focus on tilting the pelvis and getting the lower spine to go into flexion and extension. So let's go into a flexion where we just curve round in the lower spine, and let's go into extension. Lift the sit bones up to the ceiling. Curve down into your cat stretch and cow stretch, lifting the sit bones up to the ceiling. And curve down, pulling up with the tummy muscles, and lift up with the sit bones towards the ceiling, dropping the belly button down towards the floor. And then come into a neutral spine, walk the knees a tiny little bit back, and then we are going to straighten the arms as we sink the bottom back towards the heels. From here we are going to do a small wave, so watch first if you're not sure. You start by tucking the tailbone under, rolling into a wave-like motion, one vertebrae after the other, until you finish into this half plank position. Adjust the arms if you need to make sure your wrists are underneath your shoulders. So let's do this together. Reach back with your bottom towards your heels. Tuck the tailbone under. Push up into your lower spine, into your mid spine, between your shoulder blades, back of the neck, until you finish in your half plank position. Let's do 2 more. Small wave. Tuck it under. Try and feel each vertebrae moving. Visualize it if you don't feel it. And 1 more time. Leaning back. Tuck the tailbone under. Press into the lower spine, into the mid spine, into the shoulder blades, into the back of the neck. Finishing with your head between the shoulders in line with your spine. Now tuck the toes under, maybe just watch this one first. We'll take this into the big wave. So press your hips up to the ceiling. Adjust into your downward facing dog position. Lifting the sit bones up to the ceiling, so that's a slight tilting of your pelvis, tilting forward so your sit bones are pointing up. Press your hands away from you And from here, you want to sink your heels down to the floor as much as you can. From the downward facing dog or your inverted V, we tuck the tailbone under. Exactly the same wave-like action as we've done in the small wave. Into the mid-spine, into the shoulder blades, into the plank position. Adjust your hands if you need to. Always looking for wrists, elbows and shoulders to be lined up. Press up into downward facing dog. Press those hands away from you. Get your sit bones pointing up to the ceiling. Back of the legs are getting a lovely stretch here. Tuck the tailbone under. Pull your tummy muscles up. Press into that mid-spine. Into the back of the shoulder blades. Into the back of the neck. Into straight front plank. One more time. And drop those heels, sit bones up to the ceiling. Press the hands away from you and tuck the tailbone under. Press into the lower spine. Press into that area just above the lower spine, between the shoulder blades. Back of the neck, unroll the neck and then release the knees. Sit back slightly, untuck the toes and roll up. So tucking the tailbone under, roll up one vertebrae after the other. Good, so you should have felt that into your shoulders and your arms. Now let's take the right leg out in front of us, hands on either side of the foot, and let's just move forwards and backwards. Working on some mobility and fascia release. As you move back, keep your toes down. As you move forwards, keep your heel down. Okay, do a few of those. Warming up into your hips. Sit back and roll that spine up. Change around. Left leg out in front of you. Hands on either side of the foot and move back and forwards. Keeping that foot flat on the mat. So faster movement, keep your breath flowing. Good. From here, keep your right arm down, your right hand down. Press into the floor as you rotate your rib cage. So maybe just watch first. You rotate the rib cage to the left and then you reach the arm up. And find length in this rotation and bring it back down. We can do that a little bit stronger. Tuck the toes under, reach the leg out behind you, and again, get the rib cage to rotate. The shoulder blade and the shoulder and the arm follows. Look towards your left. You should feel a lovely stretch in the left side of your hip as well. And then bring it back down. Good. We'll transition over to the other side. So see what this is going to look like. Once you've done that stronger rotation with a straight leg, you're going to take your hands, walk it over until you get to the opposite side, and then from there we're going to lower the knee and start our rotations on this side. Okay, so let's start again on the left. So we'll do another straight leg stretch into this deep lunge. Press the right hand down, feel the rib cage rotating and lengthen through the spine, through the crown of the head as you reach your arm up, and then sink and press into the back heel as much as you can. Lovely full body stretch, lots of strength work happening here. Take that hand down, walk it over. Your upper body is supported by your hands. Now lower the knee on the left. This time the left hand presses down into the floor. We're going to rotate over to the right. So think of your rib cage moving to the right and then you reach up. Okay, so let's do this again. Keep the knee down for this one. Rotate the rib cage. Press down into your left hand and reach up. Lengthen through the spine, through the crown of the head. And then bring that hand back down. Now reach the leg on the left. This time it's a bit stronger, and then reach up. Now sink into the heel on the left. You can feel how the balance is slightly challenged in this position. Bring it down. Good. One more. Reach up in rotation, and from here walk the hands over onto the side where your leg on the left is in the front. Let's rotate over towards the left. Walk it over and rotate over towards the right. Press into that back heel. Walk it over. Rotate to the left. And walk it over. Rotate over to the right. Good. Come down with that knee. Bring your other leg in. And let's lie down on our left side, resting on our right elbows. So legs are going to be straight, but your top leg is going to just cross over your bottom leg here. And we're going to focus on some side work. So the movement is, have a little look first. You roll back slightly and you tuck your knees in. So lots of shortening of the abs, shortening of your oblique muscles, and then reaching out long, but you keep the legs hovering above the floor. So you keep your oblique muscles, your quadratus lumborum muscle in the back, all activated. You're also staying stable through your shoulder here as you pull it back in again for the next repetition. Good? Let's do 5 of these together. So find length through the whole body, reach the legs long, and lift down into your, press down into your elbow. Inhale. Engage your tummy and your pelvic floor muscles. Roll back, pull the knee in. Reach and hover, but release it back down if your back isn't happy with this move. And exhale, pull in. And 3. And 4. Last one, 5. And reach it out long. Good. Now from that position, one leg crossed over the other leg, slide the feet forwards like this, so that you come up into almost seated position. Don't have the feet too close, have it a little bit further apart, but your left knee is going to be pointing up towards the ceiling. Good. Now from here, rest your top hand on top of that knee on the left. We're going to press down into the left foot and the side of the right foot. And then take the weight where the shoulder comes right over the wrist. Inhale. Engage the tummy and the pelvic floor muscles. Exhale. And reach over. Press the hips up slightly. And then lower down. Okay, let's do that one together in case you were watching this one. Inhale. Engage your tummy and your pelvic floor. And exhale. Lift. Reach the legs long, reach over, lots of strong arm and shoulder work happening here, and then lower down. Okay, we're going to add a slight change in the movement there. We're going to bring in that rib cage rotation. So the arm is going to slide under like this, just underneath the rib cage. Inhale, exhale, go into side flexion first. And then take the hand, slide it under. Now your hips are going to press up slightly. And then reach the arm up, lower down, hand resting on top of the knee. Brilliant. Let's do another one. So we're going to take it over into a stretch. We're going to rotate under, and then we're going to open the chest a little bit towards the ceiling. Inhale. Exhale, reach long with the legs. Over the head, hips up slightly. You should feel how your muscles in the lower waist is just shortening. Now rotate under, hips are lifting slightly. And then lift up to the ceiling and just open up a tiny bit. And then lower down from there. Well done, that's a hard movement. Now let's swivel over to the other side. Okay, resting on your left elbow this time. Make sure the elbow is underneath the shoulders. Legs are long, switch the muscles on, it's not floppy legs. Top ankle is crossed over the bottom ankle. So your right leg is at the top, left leg is at the bottom here. Find length in the spine. Lots of space between the vertebrae. Inhale. Engage your tummy in your pelvic floor. Exhale, roll back slightly and tuck the knees in. Hover it above the floor. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale for 3. Inhale. And exhale for 4. Inhale. And exhale for 5. Good. Now relax the legs down. Slide them in slightly so that your right knee this time is pointing up towards the ceiling. Stretch out on your left arm. Okay, give yourself enough space so that when you stretch out you're in side plank. Rest your right hand on top of your right knee. Find length in the spine. Inhale. And then exhale, press down into the right foot, flat down on the mat, and the side of the left foot. Press down, lengthen the legs, and then reach over into your side flexion. Your hips are going to lift slightly towards the ceiling. And lower down. Well done, lots of concentration needed there. Inhale. We're going to bring the sliding under with rotation for the next one. Exhale into your side, bend, reach over the head. Lift that top hip a little bit. Now slide the arm under the left rib cage. And you should feel the rib cage pointing down towards the floor. Reach up and lower down. Last part of that movement is when we open up towards the ceiling. So inhale, exhale. Reach over into side bend. And let's slide it under. Your hips are lifting towards the ceiling. And then lengthen up to side plank and open a little bit towards the ceiling. And then come back down into seated. Well done. Roll into a all fours position, but this time we'll do all fours on our elbows. And we're going to work on some hip extension here. So from this position, tuck your toes under, and we'll be lifting the right heel up towards the ceiling. Focusing on keeping your spine neutral and not dropping in with your lower spine. Okay, let's start doing 5 of each, 5 on each side together. Left heel first. Exhale, left heel up. Feel that gluteal muscle squeezing. And lower down. While you are doing these extensions, don't forget to press your weight down into your elbows and feel as if you're pulling your elbows apart. Exhale, right ankle, right heel, and lower. And left heel. Notice how the front of the hip stretches out as you lift that heel to the ceiling. Right heel. Good. Let's go for number 3. Left heel. Keep those shoulders pressing down. Elbows pressing down and apart. Right heel. Okay, 2 more on each side. Left heel. And right heel. Good, 1 more. Left heel. right heel. Well done. Sit back. Just give yourself a stretch into child's pose. Breathe into the back of your rib cage. And let's come down onto our tummies. Have the legs into a V position. One hand on top of the other. Forehead resting down. Bend the knees. And then bring the heels together. As you exhale, you're going to squeeze your heels together. This is called the gluteal squeeze. And as you squeeze the heels together, you want to make sure your tummy muscles are engaged. Your hips are pressing down into the floor, and then release. And let's do another squeeze of the heels. Your tummy muscles are engaged. You're trying to tuck your tailbone down to the floor here as well. You're constantly trying to protect your neutral spine. Release. And exhale. And then release. Let's do two more. Exhale. Release. And let's do one last one. Press the heels together. Feel the openness in the front of the hips as your gluteal muscles are activated with this movement. And then release. And then relax the legs out nice and long. Bring them in slightly. We'll be moving into our dart position. So bring your arms by the side of the waist. Your head stays hovering above the mat, looking straight down. Tip of your nose is just above the mat. And you're feeling really long and strong in this position. Upper body muscles are switched on. Back of the neck is nice and long. Arms are reaching long by the sides of the waist. We can challenge the dart position by taking the arms out into aeroplane wings and then diving them forwards. Out in aeroplane wings, back to the sides. And let's just switch all the muscles off. Really important with the extension exercises is to engage your tummy muscles, your pelvic floor muscles, and having a feeling of length in the lower spine rather than pinching in. Come back into your dart pose, lengthening forwards. Feel your sternum, your chest bone right here, lifting and lengthening forwards. Your shoulder blades is slightly squeezing together. Your hips can be driving down into the mat. But at first we try not to get too much gluteal work involved here. So we're trying to really work upper back muscles more. Now take the arms out in aeroplane wings and let's take it into diving forwards. Out in aeroplane wings to the sides and then relax. There's one more addition to this whole exercise to make it a bit more challenging, and that's when you just hover the legs above the floor. So have a little look. So again, this is just optional if you want to just give yourself a further challenge. Engage your tummy muscles, pelvic floor muscles, legs are long, arms are long, your sternum is reaching up and forwards. And now let's just hover those legs. Relax the legs. Decide whether that feels okay for your lower spine. If it felt okay, let's hover it again. And while it stays hovered, all of our back extensor muscles are switched on. We go into aeroplane wings and let's dive it forwards. Aeroplane wings by the sides of the waist. Relax the legs and relax all the muscles in the upper body. Good. Let's do one more of those holds. Back into your dart. Sternum is lifting up and forwards, reaching forwards. Shoulders are lifted. Arms is reaching down to the ankles. Toes are reaching away from the fingers. Now, hover those legs above the floor. Feel lots of length and space between the vertebrae. So it's not about height here, it's about length. Arms out in aeroplane wings. Dive it forwards. back out into aeroplane wings. By the sides of the waist, relax the legs. Bring your hands right here by the side of your shoulders. Push yourself up. Come into an all fours position. And let's just finish into a cat stretch. Lifting up with the tummy muscles here. Inhale. And then sit your bottom back slightly. So this is angry cat. Stay here. And move the shoulders over the wrists again. Come back into a neutral spine. Let's do cat again, cat stretch. Lift the tummy muscles and let's inhale. On the next inhalation, let's sit the hips back to the heels. Exhale, hold it there. Inhale back into your cat with your shoulders over your wrist. And then come into neutral. Sit back slightly and then tuck the tailbone under. And then come up into high kneeling. Good. Now, let's tuck the toes under behind us. Arms is out long, stretching out to the sides. And we're going to lift the sternum up. And then take your right fingertips and just touch your opposite heel. Come back out. Take your left fingertips and touch the opposite heel. And again, right fingers to left heel. Left fingers to right heel. Right fingers to left heel. Left fingers to right heel. Okay, and we're going to take the arms up, keep the shoulders relaxed, and we'll rotate over towards the right. But feel as if your right hip is pressing forwards. Reach your arms long, reach them up, and come into center. Let's rotate to the left. Feel as if your left hip is pushing forwards. Lower the arms. And then lift the arms back up. Come back into center. So let's work with our breath here. So we're going to inhale to the left. Exhale arms. Inhale arms up. Back into center. And exhale to the left. Inhale arms down. Exhale arms up and back into the center. Inhale to the right. Exhale arms down. Inhale arms up. And exhale to the left. Inhale back up and into center and relax the arms. Roll the shoulders. Well done. Step forwards in a nice tall standing position and lift the arms up. Reach up towards the ceiling. Lift your chest up to the ceiling and we're going to sink and swing it out. And one more. And thank you very much. I hope you feel energized and I'll see you at the next session.